welcome. I'm Max Writer, and we'll be talking about Star Trek Online and the ship comparison video. Uh, this is going to be a bit weird. This is going to be the Mirror Gagarin Warship Tier 6. Now, this is actually a brand new ship that has only just come in the game yesterday, and only people who are willing to spend a lot of money on it can fly it because only start flying it yesterday. So why am I talking about this one? This, believe it or not, is the current event ship in game and runs from the 14th of September to the 14th of October, and later dates on console. Because today's the 15th when I record this and this goes live, so you can see what's current. This is a theoretical comparison with very little amount of testing, as most of the time of the writing this was not available, and I'm not going to spend the $60 on to get this ship just to fly it. This ship is actually quite similar to two other ships, the Prime Universe Gagarin Worker Battlecruiser and the Fleet Shepherd Worker Battlecruiser, at least visually, at least. So let's run the stats. And yeah, there's a big table of stuff. Now, okay, hull at the Mirror Gagarin's hull is the same as the Miracle Worker Gagarin, and the Fleet Shepherd, of course, has been the biggest. It's the fleet ships always have better hull than the standard ship. Wins on the hull out front. Now, shield mods again. Higher is better for this in this case, but it's still not bad on off on not brilliant at 9.9, but you've got quite a bit of hull to cope with it. Same with both the Gagarin and the Fleet Shepherd have got better shields, but to make up for it, the Mirror Gagarin is a fast and slightly quicker to turn ship. So, but to make it bad, I believe the inertial rating, it's the lower number they out of it to turn, or she slides a bit more. So that's what I believe that is, and what cars are identical. Now, this is where the difference is really coming for the bridge officers. Now, the Mirror Gagarin has a command tactical, whilst the Miracle Worker Gagarin has a command engineering with a Miracle Worker specialization, and the Fleet Shepherd effectively is a copy and paste of the Miracle Worker Gagarin, and by swapping the tactical with the engineering slot, the big difference is that the Mirror Gagarin is tactical heavy and does a lot of it, and could do a bit of quite a bit of damage with the six guaranteed tactical slots and a lot of quite a bit of engineering slots and very little science. As it say, the weapon slots, I don't like to give them a win if you get the meaning. So I've given the if the weapons are the Mirror Gagarin is a 4 forward and 4 aft, whilst the Miracle Working Gagarin and the Fleet Shepherd both have a 5 forward and 3 aft layout. Neither of them have a experimental weapon slot, which is usually a high damage 360 slot exclusive to tactical ships. And moving on to consoles. Now, the Now, I've given both the Fleet Shepherd and Mirror Gagarin a win for different reasons. The Fleet Shepherd wins purely because it has the most console slots before we get at all, because almost all fleet ships have one more slot than most single ship ships in the C store. So this fleet, so that wins pure because it's got one more. It's got basically got one extra slot, console slot compared to the rest of the other ships. Mirror Gagarin wins because it really focuses on tactical, whilst the Mirror Shepherd has effectively the same amount of tactical slots. It can do a lot more damage with tactical consoles. Since the fight slots will all have free, and the dual cannons they all equip dual cannons, there is no winner there because they are all identical. Now, the Mirror Gagarin has a destructive wave protection and has no intrinsic abilities that come with a ship that you can't de-equip. I mean, you can de-equip the Starship trait, or you can use it without. You could not use the Starship trait, but still, the Starship trait. But I've decided not to include any unique consoles other than the fleet gear as a fleet. As the fleet ships do not come with consoles, with a few exceptions, which only because the only way you can get hold of that fleet ship is to actually have the access to the original ship in the first place, and well, it's just it's not a big win or a big loss to get it. So, and the Miracle Worker innovation is a weird effect that you will have seen during my Delta Quadrant act, because I flew the Miracle Worker Gagarin during the entire Delta Quadrant act. So you see that there. And as for the Starship trait, again, I'm not going to make which is better, because if you need defense, probably the Protomatic Precursors might be the better choice for you. And Untitled Tactical Matrices kind of make the 6 slots on the Mirror Gagarin a bit useless. Well, so the Untitled Tactical Matrices are really good for ships that have a low amount of tactical slots, and you want to take as much advantage as you can of your tactical abilities. And because the Shepherd doesn't have a Starship trait, because it's the fleet ship, and no fleet ship has the ability to use their own fleet ship to use a Starship trait. Or should I say, have their own Starship of their own. It's more of a, you need to buy both ships to get the best of both worlds. So let's cover my initial thoughts. The stats are quite a bit on the low end compared to the other ships, but this is somewhat normal for event ships, especially when you're comparing it to fleet ships or the fleet ship equivalent ships within the Sea Star. Like other event ships, she lacks the Commander Specialization seat, which means that like the Prime Universe Gagarin, Miracle Worker Gagarin, which has as a engineering Miracle Worker. As a warship, console slots and buff layout are all about weapon damage, but the 4-4 layout is generally considered weaker than the 5-3 of the Prime Gagarin. Yeah, and I'm going to have to say that is one of the downsides of my opinion about that. So, what things the blogs didn't say, because the blog showed lots of ship shots. The console of the trick lacked any numbers to give us how good those actual are. The destructive protomatter wave projector is passive is an extra energy weapon damage boost and damage resistance. Without actually knowing how much numbers we can get, we can say how good it is. And the description does make it sound like a poor man's dynamic power redistributor module, and that is particularly one of the more particular powerful items in the game, as at least in hype terms. So, theory building thoughts. Yeah, I'm going to build a ship about this one. So some building rules for day one. Builds which all items must be in the drop table, with exception of traits and items that come from the ship event. A limited number of early mission rewards are considered, if any. However, we won't be using day one builds due to the fact it's a day 20 build by the time we get hold of it. So day 30, you'll have a limited number of tier 4 rewards, and all the mission rewards are now considered. So and day 60 builds all tier 4 reward releases, and craft only items are now also considered, if because you can probably by that time you have access to them. And any item that we consider expensive should not be replaced in later builds if we're doing multiple builds in the same time. Item mods are not really considered unless it has a really meaningful choice later. Item upgrades are not really used, but I often plan rather than being Mark 12 when I do. Buff powers are often limited to rank 1 or 2 until day 60 builds, with exceptions to that, of course. But items and loot boxes and fleet stores. Items from loot boxes, fleet stores, and lobby store and events that are you're not part of is not considered. As items and buff powers that come from the same event to earn said ship will be allowed, of course. As a quick reminder, why is day 30 is roughly the time when a player will complete tier 5 of a reputation. It's expected that most players will have completed the story by that time. Day 60 is the time when players will have gotten to about tier 6 of a reputation. That is the point any deal costs are easy to eat than at day 30, partly due to the fact that most of the tier 5 rewards will be refined by then. Now the big question is, when I build my ship, my first thought is actually dual cannons or beams. It's all for many ships versus cruisers, this choice was already made for me because they can't equip dual cannons in the first place. So based on the stats alone, the Mirror Gagarin is around about the tipping point where one could use one or the other. To this end, I'm going to plan for at least 2 builds, and you can see, but might see why in a little while longer. Now, I've got one of my second questions is picking a colour. With traits and consoles we get from the ship, we're not actually limited to energy types for maximum synergy. So I'm going to be running the budget energy type choices and the choice was hard, but phase 1 as the best choice. It's got the most sets that a new player can get hold of. I'm planning to make 2 builds with it, and I can build as well, just with the parts available from the set. And so I'm going to be doing a shopping list here, because I'm not going to build the ship right here, but I've got ideas for where it goes to go. Since it takes 20 days to get hold of the ship, and there's now at least 29 days left to get hold of the ship, it means that 20 days you can find and get the items for the ship. As required, story missions only give ground gear as guaranteed. I have much loss elsewhere to get all the gear we need. As two TFOs often will make progress to shops or marks, and the temple recruit also happen on PC at the same time. I'm going to also know which reputations to focus on, because you can get some progress into them as when you're playing. So my initial shopping list, I've decided to divide them into two categories: to buy, or buy being here is restriction to replay, and to earn marks for. Now, believe it or not, we're going to start with the Twelithium Lace Weaponry. You're going to guarantee to at least get some piece of gear from this, including the 360 beam array or the turret. You can make your pick on either of those. You have the quantum phase catalyst from Sunrise. Then there is a counter command multi-conduit energy relay for surface detection. This probably is one of the ones that you'll have guaranteed to get hold of, but I'm considering having this one in purely for the cannon builds, and I'm going to be doing some testing around the time when I build this ship to actually decide if I want to use it. But I've either put it down here just so I can fill out the page and get your progress into the other parts of the set that we're going to use it for. Now, to earn marks for, we're going to need to earn marks for the Locus Ambition set and Tilly's Field Modification set from the Discovery Reputation. Now, this is just pure because I needed to. These are just considered what I usually put in for a build of my own, assuming I don't have this set already. But yes, those are pretty much one of the things I would consider. The Counter Command Ordnance set, which is from the 8472 Counter Command Reputation. Again, there's phase of weapons in that, and again, this will take at least 30 days to get all of them, so you may not have the whole thing collected by this time. And then there's the Omega Adapted Borg Technology set, which is from the Omega Task Force Omega Reputation, which is this is for the kinetic cutting beam, which I'm going to include on both types of sets, so it's one I'm going to probably include for it, and just get the 360 cutting beam, the kinetic cutting beam, and the console, because it's pretty nice. But that's my initial shopping list, and that's really what I can really do without getting all the ships. So this has been Mike Writer. See you guys next time.